Hi, welcome to the Boot Up. This week we've got some new tech news for you and some other new offerings for you to try out in the CTMI. This week Apple dropped a couple new software updates. They're keeping up with their recent slew of updates to fix a lot of the bugs that have been happening on iOS 8 and Yosemite. So there's a new Yosemite version, 10.10.1, that you should get if you decided to update to Yosemite on your home machine. We still recommend that you don't try and do this on your Berkeley machine, especially if you have music software or anything like that that hasn't been tested with the new operating system yet. So your distributed support reps will let you know when it's safe to upgrade, and they can help you with that. On the iOS side of things, iOS 8.1.1 came out, and just like the last version, we would highly recommend that you update to this as soon as possible because it does have a few key bug fixes.
The iPad Air 2 is the new flagship model of the iPad line. It's been upgraded pretty extensively with a new A8X processor, a faster GPU. It's even thinner, it's faster on Wi-Fi, and it has Touch ID, so you can log right in without having to type in a passcode anymore.
And even better, last year's models are still available at a cheaper price. In other technology news that's just cool, there's some new wearables on the market. So last month we talked a little bit about the iWatch and how that came out, and that's a whole new category for Apple to get into. This month, Fitbit, who is already a big player in the wearables game, came out with the Fitbit Surge, which is sort of like their activity tracker and GPS watch all in one. So there's obviously some big differences between what that is capable of versus what the iWatch is capable of.
Well, I think the iWatch is geared a little bit less towards the kind of fitness market. While it will tie in with Apple's Health Book, I think it's more focused on kind of a social feel with the kind of haptic feedback and the tapping and drawing and kind of staying in touch with your friends on the fly rather than being kind of permanently staring at your phone. You can kind of have it on your wrist, but it does have to be tethered to the phone, which for kind of a fitness-oriented model might not work so well.
Yeah, that's the reason I will not be getting one anytime soon. I was hoping to replace my Nike GPS watch with it, which doesn't do anything other than track your GPS, but it doesn't have to be tethered to a phone. So, the advantages of the Fitbit version is it has a little bit of that social connectivity, but not as much, gaming potential and things like that as the iWatch. But Fitbit does not have to be connected to your phone. And also, there's a new Timex Ironman watch, which lets you do messaging and all this other stuff by having an AT&T subscription. And so there's a little bit of that casual side of things with that, but it also has the benefit of not being able to, not needing to be tethered to your phone. So on the flip side, probably not as fun as sending little drawings to your friends and stuff like that.
Well, we've got some new gear in the lab for you to come check out. Right behind us here we have the Raven MTI. It is a touchscreen mixing console from Slate. It's pretty cool. It works with Pro Tools and Logic, and we've got it here in the booth for you to check out, so come and drop on by.
That's it for this month on the Boot Up. Check back next month for all of your technology updates.
Hi, and welcome to Happy Mac. Today we'll be talking about iCloud. So Marvin, what is iCloud?
iCloud is an online service from Apple for syncing and storing your files from your Mac, your iPad, and iPhone.
Oh, to connect all of them together.
Yes.
Oh, that's great. How do you set that up?
If you already have an Apple ID for iTunes and Mac App Store, you can use the same Apple ID for signing in your iCloud.
Oh, so let's say I'm on my Mac, I'd go to System Preferences and iCloud, and is that where I would sign in?
Yes, exactly. And if you don't have an Apple ID, that's where you create a new Apple ID as well.
Now let's say I want to use iCloud on my iPhone or iPad. How would I do that? Because I know how to do it on the computer. But on the phone, is it different?
Yes, it's fairly easy. Just go to your devices, there's a setting app, and click on that, scroll down to iCloud, and then that's where you sign in.
Alright, now that I've signed into iCloud, I see I can sync a couple of things, like my contacts, my calendars, or even my notes.
Yes, also by selecting Keychain, iCloud stores your password so that you don't have to worry about losing them.
Oh, it connects the passwords of all of my devices?
Yes, exactly.
And what about Safari? Does it save my bookmarks and my browser history so I can share them between my devices as well?
Yeah, you can save them on your Mac and then look it up in your iPhone.
Oh, that's pretty cool. What's the Find My Mac option though?
Oh, you just simply locate your Mac using an app.
That's in case I lose it. Let's say I lose my iPhone, I can use Find My Mac to locate it.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
Oh, that's actually really handy.
And that's it for this Happy Mac.
We'll see you next month.
What's up, everybody? My name's Adam. Welcome to the Coffee Break. Today we're going to be talking about screencasting using Quicktime that's built into your computer. Now, I know some of you have done screencasting before, and you've probably used maybe some other expensive third-party program to do it. But there's actually a lot that you can do with the built-in application Quicktime, and we're going to take a look at that today. So when you open up Quicktime, you don't get a whole lot. What do you get? You get nothing. But if you go up to the File menu, you can start a new screen recording. Now, by doing this, it gives you the option to record a section of the screen by clicking and dragging around an area, or you can just click and record the whole screen and perform whatever actions it was that you wanted to do, like maybe sharing how to do a certain trick like kicks over time and finale for students, or how to add auxiliary channel strips in Logic. Now you can record that and share it with your students via something like Inside Berkeley Courses. Now, why would we use Quicktime? Well, not only is it free and built in, but one of the things that happens when you use other screen recording software is that you have to wait a long time for it to export. On Quicktime, it's saving it in a native file format so that it can save it almost instantaneously for you, even if it was a pretty long screencast. You have the ability, with the little drop-down arrow next to the record button, to choose where the audio is coming from. So if you want to use your built-in microphone, or a microphone that you have hooked into an interface, you can use that to record yourself speaking along with it. If you really wanted to get fancy, you could also use Soundflower or a loop in your interface to record the sound coming from the inside of the computer, but that's another show. Through Quicktime, you can also choose a new movie recording. Now, at first glance, this might not seem like much, because it pops up a screen very similar to Photo Booth. However, if your iPad or iPhone is connected to the computer via a lightning cable, then you can actually record a screencast from the iOS device itself. To do a new movie recording with an iOS device, that requires OS X Yosemite. In Mavericks or later, you also get the opportunity to show clicks while recording. This puts a circular highlight around your cursor whenever you click somewhere on the screen. Another quick tip is that when you've done a screen recording or any other recording with Quicktime, you can actually trim it. You can do that by going up to Edit and Trim, or by pressing Command-T on your keyboard. This will bring up handles in Quicktime that you can drag to the left or the right to cut off the beginning or end of your screencast. This way, when you move the mouse cursor up to the top of the screen to click the stop button to stop the screencast, you can actually cut that off before saving the file. And you can also cut off the beginning where you might have been positioning windows or getting yourself ready to record your screencast. And that's it for this month's Coffee Break. There's no coffee in this again!
Welcome
to
this
month's
Tech.
Countdown.
This month we've got 4 Propellerhead apps for you. Coming in at number 4, we've got Figure. Figure takes some of Reason's best sound banks and condenses them into the palm of your hand. You can record 2 leads, a bass, and a drum track, all with intuitive touch controls.
At number 3, we've got Take. Take is a 3-track audio recorder that you can use along with drum tracks to create high-quality demos on your iOS device.
Coming in at number 2, we've got Rebirth. Rebirth is 2 TB303 bassline synthesizers, a TR-808, and a TR-909 drum machines. You can create acid tracks like it's Chicago in the 90s right on your iPad.
The last app on our list is Thor. Thor is Reason's most powerful megasynth, condensed into a standalone app for iOS. Create tracks with its powerful sequencer and tweak the synth parameters right on your iOS device. And that's all for this month's Tech Countdown.
We'll see you next time.
Hi, welcome to Lab Experiments. In this section, we'll be keeping you up to date on what's going on in technology. This month, we've got a DAW shootout set up in the CTMI lab. Can't decide which DAW is best for you? Come check out Logic Pro X, Pro Tools 11, and Ableton Live 9. You can get a feel for the sequencing, live performance aspect, and built-in sounds of the world's 3 most popular DAWs. Prepare to have an opinion when we have our DAW debate in the spring. Get informed, get opinionated, pick your favorite, and we'll see you next time.